This is my apartment after I came back home from Vegas. I had a convention in Vegas. I was gone the 2nd through the 7th. Came home to my apartment completely wiped out. My husband left. He left me my jewelry here in this room here. Yeah, and took everything else, including some items that belong to solely me. He also took the washer and dryer out of here. I also took the bed, took everything out of here, cut off the internet service so I can no longer work from home. And then cleared out the closet here, which I'll come to light. Cleared out the closet here and left the wedding dress in here. I'll leave that right there for him.
I have watched that a million times. And by the way, I'm not alone because it's been viewed more than 2 million times on TikTok and 4.2 million times after it was reposted on a popular news site. That's 6 million views. So you may have seen it, of course, on your social media feed. But the woman behind it joins me today. Her name, again, is Portia Moore Rossman. Portia is standing by. Portia, oh, and you've got a bed of roses behind you. I love it. You are finding your joy. I can't tell. I don't want to use the word excited to talk to you because I know that this is so painful, but I am so intrigued by this story. First, how are you holding up? It's gone viral. I'm sure you have to relive it in many ways each and every day. How are you holding up?
I'm doing the best I can. Good days, bad days, all the emotions in between.
You and your ex had been together since you were 15. You'd been married 5 years. Was there anything that, set off your spidey senses, anything that you saw that perhaps maybe didn't know what it was, but that would have led you to understand such a drastic move?
I mean, I could say no. Maybe there were little things. When I was in Vegas, I actually, like around Wednesday, when he stopped responding to my text messages, I just had like this gut feeling that something was going on. And I was just crying and crying and crying. But I never could have imagined that I would walk into an empty apartment, at least without a text message or something.
For us to understand, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but for us to understand, so Wednesday, how many days ahead did he start ignoring your text messages before you
It
realized?
started on Wednesday. So we talked Monday, Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
Wednesday, he completely stopped responding to text messages. And I think one of the text messages I sent him said, like, we weren't fighting when I left. Like, the last thing you told me is we were working things out. Everything was all good. Like, I'm not understanding. So my feelings was really, really hurt. Like, I couldn't figure out what I did, like why he was upset.
Okay, by that Wednesday, you say, you were away on your trip. And how many days had you been away on the trip?
I had been on the, I left for the trip on the 2nd.
And how many days had you been gone before he stopped returning your call?
3.
So 3 days on the road, and suddenly he stops returning your phone calls. What did you think was going on?
I don't know. Like, my sister-in-law was with me on the trip, and she saw what was going on, and she was just kind of like, I have a feeling you're going to walk into a big surprise. And I thought maybe she was hinting at another woman or something. And I was just like, no, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do anything like that. And we just couldn't figure it out because my husband is very talkative. So for him to just kind of like go off the grid, it was like, what's going on? I couldn't figure out what I did. It's like we weren't fighting. Like,
so Portia, because I'm trying to understand this, because I kept trying to put myself in your shoes, coming home and everything gone. So you, again, no sign of this. You'd not been fighting. No arguments. Is that what you're saying?
Not prior to the trip. Now, prior to the trip, no fighting. But previously, we've been in counseling. I recently decided that I wanted to venture into entrepreneurship, and that just didn't sit well with him. He was like, in order for me to be supportive, we have to live separately. So when he said that to me, I was like, okay, we need to get into counseling and kind of figure this out because I can't understand like like I'm doing this or trying to live my dreams, I want to be able to choose me at least it's just this one time. I've always been so supportive of him and his dreams. I couldn't understand it. So we started counseling. Counseling seems to be doing fine. And then fast forward to the trip, I'm getting ready to leave for the trip. And last thing he says to me is, I want my wife. I want things to work out. We're going to be okay.
No word of a divorce. So he said, I want my wife, and
Yep.
everything is okay. So you left believing that everything was okay.
Yes.
And 3 days into the trip, he, is it fair to say, from your perspective, ghost you?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's fair to say.
And he stopped talking to you on that Wednesday. How soon after did you get home?
I returned home on Saturday.
So a few days later, you'd not spoken with him. So a couple of days passed, you still have not spoken with him.
Right.
You have no idea where he is.
No idea where he is. When I got to the apartment, I tried to get in the apartment and the code was different. So I tried calling him, and when I called him, I realized he had blocked my calls.
Portia's back with us in Nashville, Tennessee, along with her bestie, Erica, who encouraged her to post that video, which has been viewed over 6 million times. I will get to you in a second, Erica, because I have friends like you, and I understand where you were coming from. Portia, before we went to the commercial break, you said you got there, the code was changed, you realized your husband had blocked your calls. You finally get into the apartment. Did you think, oh, we've been robbed? What happened?
I remember screaming. Like crying, like almost like a cat wail. Like I couldn't believe that like after being together since we were 15, this is how you would end things.
When you saw the wedding dress still hanging in the closet, that was a gut punch for me. I don't know how it felt for you.
I don't know if you could hear in my voice. I was just trying not to cry on the video when look. Yeah.
It's okay.
I don't know. He made his statement loud and clear, and I heard him this time.
Erica, when she called you and told you, I mean, we were laughing. I got goosebumps because, we were kind of smiling through this the last few minutes, but you don't go into a relationship thinking it's going to end, certainly not like this. Erica, when she called you and told you that everything was gone, what did you think?
It never crossed my mind that he would just leave an empty apartment with like a handful of things, plus the wedding dress to, I guess, as a cherry on top. I never expected that either.
Well, we did reach out to your ex for a statement. He apologized for any offense he caused and said in part in a very long, lengthy letter, I also apologize for any hurt that my actions caused to Portia. He added, but her truth is simply not the truth. It is very exaggerated. He went on to say, I have been nothing but a great husband. Erica, what made you say to her, to Portia, post it on TikTok? Was that just you venting? Was that revenge? What was that?
Well, as far as I knew, when she made the video, all she was doing was, I guess, responding to the shock that she had when she opened the door, well, when she finally got in, to open the door to most of her stuff being gone. I think you said you had like 100 followers at the time. So it wasn't, we weren't expecting it to go viral. Right. She was just venting.
Which is what people do on social media now. That's the modern way to communicate. You have 100 followers. I imagine most of those are your friends, and
exactly.
You're venting at one. This is a party line. This is one way that you can tell everybody at the same time, and then they start sharing it. What's life like now for you?
There's a bit of excitement, and then there's still some disappointment, even when you just read his statement. It's like it's like one more chance to like protect me and to actually tell the truth. And even then, but his truth is his truth. So it's kind of disappointing. So I go through those moments where I'm excited for the future. Yeah. I actually probably didn't realize that I needed to be freed until I was actually cut loose the way that I was. Oh. I'm excited about the future. We have a long road ahead as far as like the actual divorce, though. I don't know where he is, so getting him served is going to be difficult. It's going to be a process.